All right. It is a summary and explanation of the complete current state of the knowledge. What is exactly existing now? And it can be obtained from books, journals, periodicals, industry reports, anywhere, online documents, anywhere you can take it. Usually we have to approach towards databases. I'm coming to that. So where exactly the topic of entrepreneurship, the topic of productivity, the topic of technology integration, the topic of what you would say human engineering or any kind of things, topics when you connect, where exactly the past research scholars dropped their ideas that we will be getting through literature review and that will be getting through the journal articles and likewise when you read it. All right. So critical description is most important thing. Last session I mentioned to you that don't accept anything coming from literature as it is. If you accept everything in accordance with the way they have explained, then there is no difference between your understanding and their understanding. In a literature review, what you have to look at is others' weaknesses. Others' weaknesses are your strength. That is the knowledge gap. If they didn't do the research properly, if they didn't identify sampling properly, literature collection is wrong, population is wrong, methodology is not sound strong. Likewise, you identify majority weaknesses means that you are finding way to do your research connected with the same topic in a different way. You got it? So a critical analysis is very important thing you need to look into. A critical analysis. So a literature review should never be just a list of previous work contain the works that you consulted. You get world is full of in your fingertips now. You don't have to go to library. Online libraries are happening. Databases, specifically if you subscribe from either from Scopus or Woos or some of the best publishers like Willis or Springer or what you would say Science Direct or databases purely like EBSCO or Psycho Online or Social Life and likewise, anywhere you take into consideration, knowledge is available in your fingertips. It's not like you have to go to library every time and spend. You need to spend yourself. And I usually tell you that research is a lonely journey. And the best of friends connected with your research is, or the journey is the authors coming from the literature, and you have to marry them. You have to be a good friend with them. Then only you will be able to have a conversation, deliberations, discussions, all these things possible. You got it? So don't cut and paste and tell that literature review is ready. It's not like that. You need to get appropriate gap. So gap, when you get it, when you find inconsistencies in the literature. If you find inconsistencies, contradictions, conflicts, ambiguities, everything is a gap. And that gap is the strength of you. Others' weaknesses. Others means that past research scholars' weaknesses in doing a research or conducted the conduction of a research, that is exactly your strength. Your strength. So this is exactly you need to identify. So literature review usually provide justification. Why I have taken up this particular topic. What is the need of this topic to be investigated, probed? All right, there is a justification and we need that justification. If justification is not stable or it is unstable, of course, you cannot move with that. Unstable in the sense that even though your topic, your background is telling, but it is not researchable topic, methodology not available, instruments not available, designs are inappropriate. So many times you'll be facing difficulty to conduct research. All right, so justification of on what background. Take an example. If you want to see white letters, then black background is needed. A black background is most important to precipitate the white letters. So a problem to be there with you to precipitate and to get permission from the jury to do this research. So point out others' shortcomings, inconsistencies, contradictions of literature. Take an example. One literature is coming from Australia showing technology integration is purely connected with profit maximization. But the other literature coming from the third world countries clearly indicate there is no relationship between the what you would say the profit maximization and the technology integration. So you are getting contradictions, contradictory findings, contradictory concepts, contradictory population. All right. everything is connected with the contradictions and you are in this kind of complete perplexed state, that particular state only you can pitch your ideas. You got it. So if you leave this task, identification of these research gaps and likewise to the readers, their paper will be rejected. That topic will be rejected. So please careful on this issue. So the purpose of literature review, easy access to research on a particular topic by selecting the high quality articles, studies that are relevant. The articles, the majority time you have to approach journals. Journals, I don't suggest you to follow Google Scholar. Sorry, Google search engine. Google is a search engine. It is not a database. Google is just a search engine. Problem with Google is that today you can see that particular data or the kind of article, online article, but that article may not be existing after 3 years. That site may not be existing. So you won't be able to trace back. Cashback, it's very difficult. So you need to approach always databases. EBSCO, Psycholine or Socialline. This I have mentioned, Scopus or Elsevier publisher, WOS or Science Direct. All these are best exactly. Even a lot of journals are coming. Engineering means it is coming to IEEEs and likewise. So a lot you can approach. All right, so articles, there is a term called as article. Articles or studies. So take an example, if it is engineering, more connected with SCI journals, SCI rated or ESCI. All right, if it is more connected to what you would say, sociology, psychology, management, you can go for Scopus, in which SCImago is coming, SCIMAGO. Take an example, I'm going to take you to this, what you would say, a particular website. Hopefully everybody has to, if you want to get best of topics, go to SCImago. I'm just writing. This is exactly the rating agency of Scopus. All right, SCImago, when you connect it, okay, I'm just writing. Okay, I want to do a study on entrepreneurship. All right. Okay, when I'm doing this entrepreneurship, when you have to get which are the topics I can make a study. Okay, look at SCImago. You can get it here. SCImago. jrjournals.com. Okay, just connect Journal of Entrepreneurship is coming under. All right, I can even journal list. If you put the list over there, you can get it. So look at here, journal rankings, which is connected with entrepreneurship. So you just put SCImago, entrepreneurship, journal list. So you'll be getting, just go to this site. You'll be able to get a site like this, SJR, SCImago, journal and country ranking. All right, so here you can see that some of them SJR is Q1, You can see over here all Q1. From this is a Q. Earlier, you remember, see, look at here, International Studies of Management and Organization. This particular journal was Q1 earlier. Now it turned to be Q2, means that the journal quality is poor. The journal quality has gone down. Journal quality is decided by what? Journal quality is decided by the articles published in that journal and getting more citation. Always remember, it's not publishing matters. It's not publishing. You can publish in WOS, you can publish in SCI, you can publish in IEEE, you can publish in Scopus and WOS or everywhere. But are you getting citations? Means that your research findings are observed by the new generation research scholars or not. So this Q2, what is it indicating? This indicating that the journal has gone low standard in last year, 2022 evaluation. It has gone down. This is exactly the citation score. But these people are this another critical perspective on international business where you can publish. But earlier it was Q1, now it is Q2. Cross-cultural and strategic management, Q2 now. Earlier it was Q1. So when you go down, you can see some of the journals. You see Q3. It was a entrepreneurship research journal exactly earlier. Earlier it was maybe Q1, Q2. Now it is Q3. All right, you need to understand this logic. So you get around 434 journals. So I'm just going to connect with you with, okay, let us understand strategic entrepreneurship journal. Just click it. All right. Okay, close more to okay, close. Okay, this is advertising that is coming from cookies. So you see here, this is a journal, and this journal, strategic entrepreneurship journal, having 53 high index. So look at You can decide which journal I should approach or which journal I should not approach by looking upon the H index. So when you look upon the H index, 53 H index available. And now I'm going down. See here, total documents are going up 29 to 20. It was okay, parallelly 2020 article, but now 2021 it has gone up. Citable documents, look upon that. Non-citable documents has gone down drastically. All are citable documents, means that you can depend on that particular literature review, literature article coming from this particular journal. Now you look upon the last 4 years. Last 4 years, it has gone up like anything. At least 10 citations per document or 11 citations per document is going up. That are clearly indicating. So now you look upon the cited documents and likewise, it is clearly indicating that non-citable document is going down, citable documents is going up, means that citable articles are going up. This clearly indicates that this journal is dependable. So if you are connecting with Entrepreneurship Journal, so you look upon, this is a Q1 journal and its score is 4.84. It is very good journal. So you can depend on that. Likewise, you have to identify which journal I can depend on, which journal I cannot depend on. Take an example. If you want to get into a friendship, the most important thing, whom I can trust, whom I cannot trust or untrustable, who are reliable, who are unreliable, who are valid in my life, who are not valid. The same applicable to literature selection also, because you will be scrutinized by the jury in the coming days when you go for publications and likewise. All right. So this I'm taking it. I hope you have understood these kind of things. You can change this if take an example, if you are studying HR. OK, you're going for HR. You just write here human resource. Human resource. A research journalist. So look at once again, see it changed to organizational behavior and human resource. So look at that one. You get so many Q1 journals, so many Q1. All right, so many Q1 journals exactly. You can go to around 210 journals available under Scopus, only connected to HR and OB. So look at after this, you can see that these journals tend to be Q2. These are all Q2 journals. Maybe next year, some of them will be going towards as Q1. All right. So Q means quarter, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, or tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. These are the 4 levels. 4 is the lowest level. Little bit higher is Q3. Articles will be much better. Another Q2 is much better, and Q1 the best. You will get amazing citations a lot. So when you have to do literature review, always try to go with what you would say Q1, Q2 journals. And if you are a beginner, I may suggest Q3 also, okay, but I may not suggest you to go for Q4. Why? Because the Q4 journals, they pay money to the publishers and they get to Q4, and after that they earn money a lot. All on a sudden that what you would say that website closed down. This is happening with I'll tell you Journal of Positive School Psychology. It was a journal coming from Europe, and they stopped it that particular time. An Indian organization has taken over that particular journal, and they started getting money and they started pub. Can you imagine 600 article in a volume? 600 means that not in a volume. It is in an issue. Under the volume, issue is coming up. Number is so many numbers. That means if it is a yearly journal, only one time. If it is half yearly, 2 times the publication, means that 2 issues under the volume. And if it is quarterly, 3 times. If it is 3 months, 4 times. If it is 2 months, 6 times. If it is monthly, 12 months that issues are coming. Likewise. So this particular journal is exactly having half yearly or likewise, but one volume, one issue having 600 plus article. My question, our question, or the world question is how they are doing this review process. Means that they collected the money and they published it. Now they completely lost their Scopus. The Scopus already blackmailed that particular article, that particular what you would say journal. So be careful when you get into a journal. You should be very clear that journal is not a predatory journal. A predatory journal. So if you are publishing in predatory journal, you will be a predatory author. And you will be fooled by, you will be looked upon by the entire academics in a law graded way. So better not to publish, or better not to get into any predator journal for your evaluations or readership. And likewise, go with the best of publishers, Elsevier, or you can do Scopus Papers, or you can Woz or Willis, Springer. Best of publishers are available to you. So follow that best of publishers. Why I'm telling you best of publishers? Because best of publishers having best of journals. Best of journals having best of editors. Best of editors having best of reviewers. Best of reviewers give the feedback continuously. And this particular thing you follow, publisher, journal, editor, editorial board, and reviewer, that articles are getting more citations. So when you select article, you need to go with that. So you need to look at the best literature review, and it is an excellent starting point for any beginners. And I tell you how to do that now. Research, do not duplicate the work of the past is the most important thing. You should not duplicate the work. So it can provide, literature review can provide clues as to where the future research is heading. So where exactly the literature is existing now, where exactly it is moving ahead. So when you read an article, you have to go down in a journal, and under the journal, there is an article. Under the article, there are 2 points where you have to focus more. One is discussion. There is a part called as discussion, and the other part is called as limitations. These two. One more I'm adding, future scope of the study. These 3 areas, discussion, future scope of the study, and the limitation. Limitations will give you an idea that where exactly that particular topic stopped by the researcher. Next, somebody has to move ahead with the dimensions identified by the same author. So limitation, they couldn't complete in right time. The methodology, they used only mono method, either quanti or quali, or the sampling population is lesser, or the sensitivity of the topic, or the variables they have considered limited, considering the context. Likewise, a lot of limitations may be coming up. These limitations are exactly the point you can take into your topic. You can take it as your topic. At the same time, future scope of the study, they stopped somewhere, and you are exactly taking ahead that topic. You got it? So these future scope of the study areas also you can look into for your topics exactly. All right, another area for intervention. All right, so find out where exactly the topic is heading, either entrepreneurship or productivity, or what you would say, engineering, any kind of medical, any kind of topics when you're taking into consideration where exactly the future research is heading to. If you don't write that kind of research papers or conceptual papers, it is not valid at all. It is not valid at all. So you need to be very clear on where exactly the future is heading, and that kind of topic I have considered for my study or not. All right, take an example, 2012 or 2015 onwards, you are not getting more papers connected with green marketing. Take an example, green marketing, a concept, or green building, a concept. So that concept is not getting appropriate research article, means that the concept of green marketing has been already saturated. Already saturated means that beyond that particular understanding, nobody can understand more about, nobody can define more about this green marketing concept. So you may not get articles from 2016, 2017, 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. You get the latest article by 2015 exactly. You got it. So this is an issue. So if you don't get literature, sorry, if you don't get literature, it clearly means that your topic is already saturated. All the findings have come out. You can do only repetition. So don't do that. Research is not a repetition. A research where exactly some other scholars have stopped, you are exactly proceeding that particular progressively. You are going ahead. All right. So another is look at the key findings. Where exactly they couldn't, means that the predictability has gone down. The predictability has gone down. So that means that I still remember when I was in Malaysia, one student who I usually conduct training programs, Saturdays and Sundays. That means holidays I used to do that training program, research training program for the faculty members. So one of the faculty coming from one of the prestigious campus, she was attending my session. In between, she told me, Prof, I have completed my thesis, but when I did my analysis, I'm getting 2% prediction. Just 2% prediction means that 98% of the observations that you have made through the research questions, research objectives, and hypothesis is not matching up with the problem. I couldn't define it. So what I should do? So the problem can be connected with the concepts they have taken from the literature, maybe outdated concepts. The method they have used, only mono method. The sample selections may be wrong. Many issues may be there, but the most important thing is the research frame, you got it. You convinced with the research frame, you convinced with the theoretical frame, and now you are telling that frame is not supporting. Means that you have to redo the thesis once again. Means that your literature review, you couldn't identify appropriate gap. The gaps you have identified at the time of proposal defense is not sufficient enough to convince the people you have gone back. This is my problem. So the problem you identified and the problem the respondents experiencing totally different. So this particular time you will be in a big fuss. So better not to get engaged into this one. Do the literature review appropriately. Identify the key findings. And what I suggested for this girl is that go for mixed method research. It's not mono method. You can do quantitative research. You can do qualitative research. What you couldn't identify, she was exactly depending on quantitative research. She was depending on the quantitative research. So when you look on the quantitative research, the issue is that it's a mono method. So a lot of mono method errors are coming. So you couldn't identify through quantitative research, you cannot identify the concepts appropriately. So what you can do now, you have to go for qualitative research. Go to the field once again, talk to the people and the practitioners, experts, all the people connected with that particular issue. Talk to them. Understand what they are telling. Come back with storyboards. From the storyboards, you need to develop the COTS. You need to develop the categories. You need to develop the themes, new themes, customized and indigenized into that particular context. Then look at the literature. How much variation happening with the literature coming from the secondary data and the literature coming from the primary data. Primary data means face-to-face interaction, interviews, observations you have made, interviews with practitioners, semi-structured interviews or semi-focus group discussions. After that, you come and tell. Then when she did it, after 6 months, she came back to the same training program. Prof, you said it correct, because the factors identified from the literature and the factors I have identified from the context is totally different. You see, literature can deceive you. Literature can make you fool also sometime. So you should not believe literature. You should always believe in your intellect. You should guide the literature rather than literature should guide you. Problem is that when you start literature review, literature start guiding you, original ideas, original identification, everything will be compromised because doing research is important thing to you rather than coming up with an amazing, a breakthrough finding. There is a compromise happened. Got it? Never do that. Let you guide the literature rather than let the literature guide you. So you need to identify inconsistencies, gaps. You're also identifying the approaches. I told you, many research scholars have followed quantitative because it's easy to complete. It's okay, you will get degree, but you're not contributing to research at all. You're not contributing to a company. You're not contributing to the stakeholders. The most important, never do anything for yourself when you do research. It should be for others. It should be for others. So when you do that, you need to understand the approach. I told you when I told the philosophical class, I mentioned to you approaches, what approach I can follow. So positivism means that quantitative research. Interpretivism means that qualitative research. You need to identify. So literature review give an idea about what methodology you can follow.